Greetings humans, and welcome to Sinister Reviews. Here, I review horror movies of all kinds from the bloodiest of slashers to the eeriest of spirits. Since this is my first review, I want to make sure I start with something good. After much consideration, I decided to start with one of my best picks, the 2001 movie, Jeepers Creepers. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you do so before watching this video as it contains spoilers. Let's begin. Jeepers Creepers was directed by Victor Salva and released on August 31, 2001. It's a road trip-turned-nightmare that follows Trish and Dare Jenna, two siblings who are traveling through the desolate backroads of rural Florida. On what begins as an ordinary drive home from college, the pair encounter a mysterious, cloaked figure dumping something disturbing down a pipe in an abandoned church. Curiosity quickly turns to terror as they investigate the site and discover something horrifying beneath the surface. What follows is a relentless chase filled with mounting dread, strange encounters, and an evil force that haunts the land. With eerie rural landscapes, a mysterious monster, and a tone that dances between slasher and supernatural, Jeepers Creepers taps into primal fears of being hunted, of being watched, and of something never meant to be seen. The story began with a slow burn featuring Trish and Dare in the car, bickering in ways typical of siblings. While having one of their petty arguments, a big, run-down-looking truck came after them. After seemingly trying to run the siblings off the road, the truck speeds off, leaving both siblings shocked and shaken. This was a great way to begin giving the audience a sense of dread. The scene leaves you wondering if the unseen driver will return or what they will do next if they do. Things take a more disturbing turn when Trish and Dare spot the same truck parked near an abandoned church, and its driver, a monstrous humanoid called the Creeper. After catching the Creeper dumping what looked like a body down a massive pipe, the Jenner siblings' curiosity gets the better of them, prompting a sequence of events that allow them to piece together the Creeper's story. Towards the end, a woman named Giselle Gay Hartman gave the siblings the final pieces of information needed to properly wrap up the film. After fully understanding how the Creeper functions and why it followed Trish and Dare, we're given a story free of plot holes. Before the Creeper's first appearance, the only foreshadowing we received was the aforementioned truck. Typical foreshadowing usually consists of scenes where we don't see the threat, but rather, signs of what the protagonists will face, like news reports about missing people, for example. To be fair, we technically don't see the Creeper during that scene. If you watch the first truck scene carefully, you'd notice how the truck's windows were too reflective to see the inside, let alone the Creeper. Therefore, the audience had no reason to believe that he was the driver until the scene of him dumping something into that pipe. All things considered, I'd say this was a decent form of foreshadowing. Trish and Dare Jenna have an interesting relationship. In the beginning, Trish and Dare seemed like the kind of siblings who were annoyed by each other's existence. But as the movie progressed, we begin to see that they really cared about each other as siblings should. This was made clear during the scene when Trish begged the Creeper to spare Dare and take her instead. The Creeper is a monster that's interesting as he is unique. While we never got a clear answer as to what exactly he is, we were at least able to understand how he thinks and functions. Through Giselle, we learned that the Creeper only eats certain human body parts based on what he needs. For example, if the Creeper was lacking in sight, he'd devour the eyes of one of his victims. By devouring body parts according to his needs, he was able to sustain himself while prolonging his lifespan. As a terrifying bonus, the Creeper could literally smell the fear of his victims. However, it's not so that he could track his prey like a predator in the wild. At least, not exclusively for that reason. I will explain the true purpose of this disturbing power later in the video. The techniques used to create tension worked great for the plot. The Creeper liked to play the long game when going after his targets. He stayed in the shadows, only coming out to snatch one victim at a time. This was made possible with the Creeper's big bat-like wings. The Creeper captured his victims in a method similar to that of a bird of prey. He'd stay in the air, keeping himself hidden before it was time to strike. The unpredictable timing of when the Creeper will swoop down was enough to subject the audience to constant tension. As I mentioned earlier, the creeper never used his fear-smelling ability just to hunt for prey.
He does it because he craves the smell.
The creeper is so addicted to it that he lets his victims run around scared as long as he wants. This would explain why the pacing turned out so well.
Think about it.
The creeper was perfectly capable of taking the Jenner siblings the first chance he got. He could have flown right over to them and taken them both to his hidden lair the moment he realized they'd found him. The only plausible explanation as to why that didn't happen is because the story needed a reason for it to not end too early or cause burnout. Without the creeper's addiction to the smell of fear, the pacing would pretty much be non-existent, if not total crap. Jeepers Creepers has got to be one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. Not only did it provide a combination of two subgenres of horror, it also gave us an antagonist that was based solely on original thought rather than something out of world mythology or pop culture. The rare combination of these elements is the main reason why I think so highly of this film.
For that, I give Jeepers Creepers 3 blood goblets.
Thanks for listening to Sinister Reviews. If there are any movies you'd like me to review next, please share them in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, the Sinister Empire watches, always.
Until next time.